Hi everyone, it's Kristie with AG Takes Over. If I look tired, it's because I am. My eyeballs are dry balls, but I had to film this tonight because I'm also so excited. Real quickly, this is in a new place, and I promise you there is an upcoming all the doll spaces video. I've been moving a few things around, and I filmed recently. I just haven't edited it yet because, I got sick. But keep your eyes peeled for that. This video, I'm just going to give you a breakdown, so if you want to jump, I don't know the timestamps yet, but I will by the time you watch this, so I'll put them up here, timestamps for the segments. But I'm going to be talking about the American Girl doll show in Saline, Michigan. It's the only post American Girl Madison Children's Museum benefit sale. Now that that is in the past, it is the only all American Girl doll show that I know of. There could be more. It's just the only one I know of. And this was my second year going, and if you watch my videos regularly, you'll know I made a video saying, hey, this is coming up, and then, posted and said, hey, this is what we're selling. So I've been trying to let people know that it was going to be here, and now it's done. And I want to tell you how it went, and it happened today, and oh my gosh, I just got back from driving. It's been a day, but it was a great day. So I'm going to first tell you about the experience of being a vendor. So if that's something you're considering, you have more information. And if you just are curious and want an insider's perspective, you can get that. And then I want to tell you about the experience being a shopper and show you what I got. And then I want to tell you about the meetup that we hosted afterwards. And then I'm going to end with kind of what plans for the future and what kind of things were discussed at the meetup that we're hoping could maybe come to fruition, and just my own excitement. So those are the 4 sections, and then probably I'm going to put some pictures at the end. So stay tuned to the very end to see, and I have tagged several channels in the description, so hopefully they're seeing this. It was great to see so many familiar faces and put some names to faces, and it was so good, so good. All right, so vendor, this could change, but it is $20 for a 6-foot table. Here's a diagram of the place. You can see where we were. It's a big gymnasium, and it has a ring around it, a rectangle around it, and those are the outer perimeter tables. And then there are 2 squares in the middle that are kind of the inner perimeter. So we were on the outer, and no place was the best place. It didn't matter. The sale itself was from 11 to 2:30, so 3.5 hours. If you're a vendor, then you could get there as early as 8:30. We were hoping to get there by 8:30, just because we've never been there as vendors, so I didn't know. But Grace was still a little slow. She wasn't feeling the greatest this morning, so still recovering from our stomach bug that we had earlier last week. So we got there about 9, which was plenty of time. She just sat down. I brought the stuff in and got it set up, and then we took a look around. Then one perk of being a vendor, so we did 2 tables, but even if you just did 1, which is $20, then there's a nice big perk to that. You get to shop early. I'm not going to talk about what I bought yet because that's in the next segment, but did some shopping, did a little shopping then, a little shopping during the sale. And then there was a tea going on somewhere else in the rec center that you could pre-register for, I think. And then that let out at 10:45, and people were lined up to get into the sale because obviously you're done with the tea, then you go to the sale. And they opened the doors, I think, 10 minutes early. Holy crap. I only have one other year to compare it to because we went for the first time last year. But our table was right next to somebody who had been doing this. This was their 5th or 6th year. And they said this was the biggest turnout they had seen. That's just anecdotally, but it was crazy. Like, it was overwhelming. Even when we were like doing our early shopping and none of the shoppers were there, it was just vendors, I was overwhelmed. Like, I was a little bit overstimulated just by the sheer volume of stuff. Handmade stuff, some off-brand stuff, our generation, American Girl, My Life As, Welly Wisher, Biddy Baby, historical, modern CYOs, custom dolls, big ticket items. There were campers and pools and carriages and historical trunks and the wardrobes and so much stuff. So much stuff. I was just like, it was a lot. So then we were instantly like flooded there. Let me back up. Sorry. It's been a long day. We got 2 tables. It was nowhere near enough space. So I posted, somebody who I hope you're watching said, I've been a vendor there 3 years. I'm just going as a shopper this year, but take a picture of your table and take a picture of the map showing where you are in the map and then post it. And I did. And I said, please come back by periodically because we have so much stuff it won't fit on the tables and we're going to be replenishing as people buy stuff. And that went on all day. Like, finally, it's only 3.5 hours, but finally well into the sale, I was like, hey, we got everything set out finally. There was just so much. You guys saw about half of it in the last video. So lots of people came and did a lot of shopping, and it was fantastic. And we came home with less than half of our stuff. People bought books, which is great because that tote was heavy in the morning and it was so much lighter going home. I sold the Starbucks thing. Here's a picture of the Starbucks thing. If you're hoping that this person is going to be on Instagram, I don't know that they are. It was a woman buying it for her daughter, and I didn't talk to the daughter. The woman was like, I don't know, I think she's going to like it, but I don't know how old her daughter is and whether her daughter's on Instagram. I don't think she was. So we may or may not see the Starbucks again, but I was super excited that somebody was so excited to get it. So we did really well with the sale. I will absolutely be happy to do that again. I don't think we'll accumulate as much, so we won't have as much to sell, but we would maybe do another 2 tables once and then probably be down to 1 after that. I don't know. Lots of people came up and said hi, and I love that. And each time I was like, do you comment? Because if you comment and then you tell me your account name, especially if you comment regularly, I'll be like, oh, that's you. But a lot of people were like, no, I just watched. I'm like, well, thank you. I'm so glad that you do. And we got some pictures. If anybody sent me pictures and said it was okay, I'm filming this now, but between now and the time it airs, if anybody has sent me pictures and says it's okay to post them, I will include them at the end. So again, wait till the end, see if you know anybody there. One thing that was really cool was how many people came up to me and said, I only knew about this show because of you. Thank you so much. And they're like, they were thrilled with the deals they were finding throughout the auditorium. I don't think a single buyer or shopper had any reason to leave there unhappy. Like, I think every seller did well, and I think every shopper was happy with what they got. It was amazing. It was bonkers, but it was amazing. So anyway, several people, I kind of lost count, said, I didn't know about this, but because of your videos. And last year when I posted the recap video, people were like, I wish I would have known about it. Well, I kind of found out about it last minute, so I didn't have time to make a video, and I really didn't have any experience with it to tell you, like, it's like this. I would have been like, hey, this is what we're doing. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. So last year when I posted the recap, a lot of people were like, I wish I would have known. And I said, next year. And so I did let people know multiple times in community posts, in a video, on Instagram. I was like, hey, this thing is amazing. You should go. And so a lot of you did get to go because of that. And I'm so glad. So that's good. Takedown was really easy. If you were going to sell, I would recommend having 2 people. This thing, it basically is like swamped, crazy busy initially. There's a mad rush. It's kind of like all of the early shoppers for yard sales, like they hit there early and then it fizzles out. It does fizzle. It starts to die down pretty, like, I don't know, an hour and a half into the 3.5 hours, maybe 2 hours in. And then the rest of it is pretty chill. So if you're like, I don't want to leave home with anything, you probably are going to be slashing your prices. We didn't, because I'll be happy to just store it and bring it back next year. But it definitely would help to have two people. Nadia from Double Claws, I asked her, I reached out beforehand and was like, how much should we bring in cash and like what denominations? And she was like, I would do 80 and at least half of that in ones, which was solid advice. Good looking out, Nadia. Saw so many friends there. So, I mean, people that I knew already and people who I knew, but faces I hadn't seen, like Kaylee from AG Star 91. And I saw Ashley from AG Ash Girl 1904 and Nadia from Double Claws and Beth Baccarella, everybody's favorite, most prolific commenter. And she has a wonderful collection on AGIG. Saw lots and lots of people that I hadn't seen before. And it was great. Megan, it was so good to see you. Oh my gosh, Justin and Georgia and so many people. So that was lovely. And I guess, yeah, that concludes what it was like as a seller. Like 11 out of 10. Highly recommend. We haven't even finalized the count, so I don't know how much I made, but we took a peek and we did well. It was absolutely worth it for us. And I think it would be worth it for any seller who has their stuff organized and has a decent amount to sell. All right, let me grab what we got. And I do know exactly how much we spent on that stuff because we had our cash separate for that. Oh yeah, the other reason it would be good to have two people, water. It was at some points it was so crazy that I was like, we're just going to have to wait. Like we had finished our water and I was like, I still am really thirsty. And we just waited. But, we spent, are you ready for it? A whopping $44. When I tell you that I don't have any Grail items, I knew going into it, I'm not buying any dolls. At most, I'm buying 2 dolls this entire year, and it's only February. Well, today was the 1st, so it's only March. But I was like, not buying any dolls. I'm not buying any big ticket items. Unless miraculously during the early bird shoppers, they had a steal on Joss's bus or Caroline's parlor or something, which was not going to happen. It didn't happen. I wasn't going to buy any big ticket items. So I was really just looking for little fun stuff. I don't know, just something that would surprise me, something I wasn't expecting. So Grace bought 2 items. That's it. So one of them was this. It's the over-the-door thing. And she walked past somebody. She got both of these before the sale officially started. She walked past somebody who had it for $15 out of the bag. And she was like, ooh, I might get that. I'm just going to keep walking around because it's not like it was crowded with shoppers yet. And then she kept walking and somebody had it in the bag for $8. So, yeah, I don't even think it's ever been removed because the seal looks like it's still, yeah, I don't think it's ever been removed. So this Pleasant Company, very nice cloth over-the-door hanger thing. And then this thing, which please comment and let me know if you have this. American Girl Fashion Show. We have no idea what's inside it. Grace said, I've seen it on eBay and it's usually $20, and since I have no idea what's inside it, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm not gonna pay $20 to find out. $2. She was like, I don't know what's in it. $2. We're about to find out. I'm not gonna open it. I can let you know later in a post or something, but she bought it, so I don't want to open her thing. But yeah, $2. And then there was, let me grab the next 2 things. There was a woman and her daughter who were setting up. They had things that were pre-made, but they also had things that they had made. And the woman told me later, we have 5 kids. We don't have money. We're not going to be spending $100 and something on on one doll for one child. She said when my daughter got into American Girl dolls, she got into like crafting for them, and she really got into wanting one. And I was like, well, if you make the money for it, she said she did a sale at her church or at a church and made enough to like fund her trip to Chicago and go buy her doll. I was like, oh, anyway, they had some really cool concepts. Instead of being like pre-made baskets or pre-made containers full of stuff, they had like here's the container, and then you buy X number of things for X number of dollars. So, for example, I got this little container, which is cute in and of itself. And then I got to pick out 4 items to put in it for $3. So I got this little sucker. I mean, you all know any of these little food things are right up my alley. And I picked things that I don't make. So a little chocolate, some rainbow candies, and 2 of these little things. So all 5 things, these 4 food things and the container for $3. Psh, yeah, thanks. So that brought our total up to $13. And then for $5, I got to create my own Easter basket, and they even put it in this and then tied it up with a ribbon, and it was so sweet. So they had the baskets with a little button on the side, and they had different buttons. Mine says keep calm and hop on. And the grass, so that was your starter thing. And then you got to pick out a plushie. Of course, I picked the queerest plushie there. And then you could pick 4 treats to go with it. And they had so many good ones to choose from. But I picked this little thing, had just like wrapped chocolates with little chicks and, ducks and bunnies and spring animals. And then I got this little mixed thing with some presumably, chocolate eggs and a little peep. And then I got these 3 peeps. Sorry, the light is not my friend. There we go. And my gosh, I hope I can get this without the glare. They're the peanut butter, like the Reese's peanut butter eggs, and they've got bites taken out of them, and holy crap, it's adorable. Look at that. It's so cute. I got all of these things, the plushie and the basket and the 4 things and the grass and the little bag and all of it for $5. What? But it was really cool that they just had this like maker station, like you can just pick from the pre-made things. Like very smart setup. And then I was walking past somebody's setup, and they had a big tub, and the sign just said, go through it, find what you like, make me an offer. And the first thing that caught my eye was this. And if you are like really a hardcore fan of my channel, you might know that we already have this. And probably the people that I'm thinking of, now I'm ruining the surprise, but I have some doll friends that I thought this might be on their wish list. I'm just gonna hold it. But it's, it's a historical piece, and it was just in this tub with a bunch of the other like random stuff. A lot of it was just like off-brand, cheap little foods. So I was like, I don't know. I don't have any idea what to offer. I don't know what ours cost us because it comes with some other things, and my wife bought it with all the other things. So I was like, I don't even know what she paid, much less what to offer for just that piece. So I'm just gonna hold it in my hand and look through the rest of the things. And then I quickly saw this thing. So cute. This, I don't even know. Somebody was like, what is it? And I'm like, I don't know, like a picnic basket, a picnic little thing. It's so cute. It just needs this part glued, but it's got a magnetic clasp. Like, look at this detailing, leather, stitching. The inside's like whatever. It's so detailed and cute. It's like, I don't know. I think it's adorable. It's doll sized. I want it. I told you. I'm just looking for like little surprises. And then melodies. I don't have like a ton of Melodies collection, but I have a decent amount and I like it. And then this cup, my wife likes the little Starbucks cups for the dolls, and it's the keychain, but it, like, the colors were really pretty, and it's a Disney one. So I was like, yeah, she would love that. That would be a little surprise for her. So I just held out the 4 things and I said, look, I really suck at these, like, make me an offer things. Can you just tell me what you would like for this stuff? And she said, you want to just say $5 for all of it and call it good? Yeah, that sounds great. I was like, oh, hell yes, I do. I handed over that $5 so fast and I was like, look what I got, Grace. Yeah, $5 for all of it. $1.25 for this. $1.25 for this? Shoot, these keychains, which is insane, are like $17 retail now. That's nuts. But so is $1.25, like the opposite extreme nuts. And then I'm telling you the things in the order that they were purchased, actually, too. Not that it matters, but there was a woman named Brooke who was at a table close to us, and she was setting up. She does custom dolls. She's a teacher, but also does custom dolls. And she was like, brought over an outfit that she had that was a Kaya outfit and was like, what do you guys think I should charge for this? Like, I watch your channel and I usually get pricing advice, whatever, from your channel and some other channels, but I don't know what to charge for this. And so I said, I'll look stuff up and see what sold listings were, what the range is. And then I went back over to her and I was like, hey, there aren't a ton of them, but this is the range. And we started talking about it and she said her price. And then she's like pulling stuff out and she had a bunch of the mini dolls and she had this case full of clothes and I was like, oh, is that clothing for the mini dolls? And she's like, yeah, I've tried to sell this stuff before. I don't know, people haven't been interested. And I said, are you going to sell those individually or just as a thing, like the clothes and as the case? And she's like, probably just all together to try to get rid of it. And I was like, how much? She's like, I don't know. Does 20 sound good? And I was like, I think so. I mean, it sounds good to me. Let me go check with Grace. So I went over and Grace was like, yeah, this entire case. And I want to go through it all, but I honestly think what'll be easiest for me is just to lay it out afterwards and put it in a picture so you can see it here. I'm going to let it take up the whole screen. All that stuff. You can hear my voice still, right? All that stuff for $20. So exciting because that is not something I ever see on Facebook Marketplace. It's the Lori dolls clothes. We have a couple of the mini dolls that we've just gotten in random lots that are buck naked. They just came to us with no clothing, and I'm so excited about all these little things. Getting to put purses and shoes and All right. And then I got 2 more things. That's it. We only spent $44. I was walking past one table, and they had this in their dollar. Like everything in this bin is $1. I'm going to take this button off and I'm going to see if I can take this out. If not, I'm going to try to cover it up with something that's a little less shiny. But even if I can't, as long as I take the thing off, I'm like, that's cute. For $1, I mean, honestly, you could put it on backwards and then just put some wooden buttons right here and that would work too. It's adorable. Did I need it? No. But look. It would be so cute. A little fall picnic. All right, and then the last thing I got, some table was doing like 50% off halfway through the thing. They just wanted to get rid of as much stuff as possible. And I've had part of this swimsuit, but only one half. And now I have the whole thing for $4. So it's this outfit. Don't ask me to name what it is. It comes with like a white pair of pants that I love and a nautical style shirt that has all 3 of these colors in it and a hat, bucket hat that has this color and some shoes. So I think I have all of the other pieces except I didn't have the swimsuit. And the swimsuit's really cute. Like it's a style that AG doesn't do really at all. So yay. And that's my $44 spending spree. like it all fit in this bag with a lot of room to spare. We were just there to hang out and like get rid of some things more than bring a ton home. But I'm super excited about what we got. All right, next up, I said we're going to talk about the meetup afterwards. So for the meetup, I had reached out to a few AG tubers that I know and said, hey, what do you guys think about doing a meetup there? And they're like, yeah. And I said, okay, I'll look at places. And I looked around, and in this area of Michigan, other than like chain restaurants, and I mean like Dairy Queen or McDonald's, and it's not that I'm bougie, it's just that those places don't really have seating for a gathering. If they had had a Panera, I would have been like, sure, it's a chain, I don't care. But there weren't any of those kinds of places like that are open all day long and also have like adequate seating. So I was looking at local restaurants, and there were ones that were more of like the breakfast diner kind of places, like baked goods and coffee, and they all closed between 2 and 3. And the sale went until 2:30, and then we would need time to like, the vendors who were there would need time to like take their stuff out to their car. So we would get there right when they're closing. So that was out. And then any of the ones that were open in the afternoon didn't open until 4. So like it had to be at 4. But the sale ended at 2:30, and I was kind of worried that people weren't going to want to hang around in town. Like, and several people didn't. Like, several people were like, I wish I could stay for the meetup, but got to get home to my dog, got to get home to whatever. We got to drive. We got a long drive ahead of us. So a lot of people didn't go. When we showed up, Grace and I ran to a store first, and then we got there with just a few minutes to spare. And when we came up, a collector friend that we know and her daughter were there at the front door. People lined up to this restaurant. Oh yeah, let me back up. I picked Drop Top Pizza. It opened pretty recently there in Saline, Michigan, in October, I think late October, and has gotten really good reviews. Detroit style pizza. I didn't know what that was. And so I called ahead and I said, is it wheelchair accessible? Do you have adequate seating? Do we need to make a reservation? Because I don't really know how many people. And they said, if you get there right at 4, because people do line up, you should be fine. They're not kidding. People line up. And the food was fantastic. The staff was amazing, super accommodating, very patient, very friendly. Food was out pretty quickly, and it was delicious, and it was very reasonably priced, like 10 out of 10, 100% recommend. We had a great time there. But when we got there, I was like, I don't know, we might have, like, it was just the 4 of us. It was like Grace and I and our friend and her daughter. So like, okay, that's it. And I was like, I don't know. I think maybe up to 12 people, but I don't know. And so the guy said, I can put 2 tables together, that'll be 8, and we can put 2 chairs on the end, that'll be 10. And more than that, like, they'd have to sit at another table. And we're like, that's fine. And as we're walking, I look back at Grace and I'm like, should I tell him just in case nobody else shows up that like, if after 15 minutes nobody shows up to take the other table, because they've got a lot of people here and they're probably going to hold that table, you know, knowing that they could use it for other people. So I told him that, and he was like, great, if you guys don't mind just sitting at the one table, then if we do end up taking that one back, it's easy. I was like, yeah, sure. And then people started showing up. And all in all, like not ever at one given time, but there were 16 people, which is great. That is a great, like, in fact, it was too many because Beth and I didn't catch your name, Beth and friend, showed up late. They were being good Samaritans and helping another collector out, giving them a ride to the airport, and they showed up like well into the event. And not only was our 2 tables were full, but every table in the entire restaurant was full. So they stayed and visited and chatted for a while, and they were like, I guess we'll head home. So it was so good to see you. But it was lovely. It was so nice to hang out with people and get to hear about people's collecting, and, you know, like the frenzy of the shopping is fun, but also like the chill and like hanging out and just talking about what do you do with your dolls? How did you get into them? Other things. Like, was really, really lovely. And for those of you who haven't had that experience of like getting to hang out with doll people in real life, if you can find that where you live, or if you can make a way, like find a way to travel to get that experience, like it's so energizing. Um, it was really nice, and we started talking about how a lot of people kind of felt this when the Madison Children's Museum sale stopped. And this was going while that was going, so it's not like one stopped and the other kind of cropped up. But this can kind of like be a replacement. It's very different, but like I said, I don't know of other all American Girl centered doll shows. And especially not of this size. So it's really nice to have that. And somebody said, yeah, Nadia was thinking about maybe doing a meetup like at a hotel, maybe even like renting one of the event rooms or event spaces. And I was like, yeah, we've talked about, because we have the Central Ohio American Girl Doll Group, and on Facebook, but we've done some in-person meetups. If you have watched my channel, you've seen recaps of those. We've talked about doing something that's maybe like a full weekend where there are workshops, like hands-on things. Somebody mentioned, I would like hands-on to learn how to restring or to whatever, rewig or eye swap. And I was like, yeah, I would be so down. In fact, our local doll group has talked about trying to get together something like that, where it's like skill shops and activities and making crafts, and maybe like a little writer's workshop for character development for your non-named doll, your like canon dolls. And I was like, this event already draws people. There was somebody from Atlanta. There was a mother and daughter who came in from Chicago. There were people who came down from Canada. There were people who came from up from Ohio, like Indiana. There were people coming to this thing from multiple places. So it's already drawing that crowd. And I was like, yeah, Nadia, we could like potentially expand this, like go to the thing, yes, but either the day before or the day after. Like also there's this all day thing, and there could be a registration fee to cover the cost of the event room and whatever, but just like volunteer run. I would be happy to lead some workshops. Grace would be happy to lead some workshops. I know Nadia has very good like doll restoration skills and would be good at a lot of that stuff. I think it'd be fun, like a panel of AGIGers, and like with some prepared questions, but also like, do you have any questions? Or like a panel of AG tubers, whatever. Like there's so many things. I don't know, we could play American Girl board games, or do like anybody who wants to do the plays. I don't know. So many possibilities. So we started talking about that. And I don't know if you've been in spaces where like that kind of in-person energy just makes you feel very like refreshed and renewed and energetic about stuff. For me, interpreter conferences have always been that way, because I love my profession. I love the field I'm in, and when I get around people who like nerd out in similar ways to me about what we do, I'm just like there's so much possibility and there's so many things to do, and I feel like you're not just like all the time, right? Like there's new stuff, and I don't know, there's just like this tangible energy, and that is how the meetup felt for me. That's how the day felt, but especially the meetup, where some more like conversations were able to happen, right? So that was fantastic. I guess I just kind of transitioned directly into from the meetup to like talk about the future. And then even when we were going home, like Grace and I were talking about, I said, in the inevitable some point in the future when we don't want a giant welly wisher house in our home, like what do you think we'll do with that? And we were even talking about like places it could be donated, or like an auction that could like we could raise money to buy dolls, for we give toys to a local charity every like winter season, and it's like a good charity that does really good things, and like values kind of align with ours and whatnot. So we were like, maybe we could do some kind of auction, and like the money that we get could be used to buy like American Girl dolls for this thing that we donate to. Which was like obviously years down the future. We just got that thing. But just brainstorming, and Grace was like, you know how there are like libraries have like American Girl lending libraries? I wonder if that's even possible in our town. Like if we could do that, what it entails, if we were volunteers, like if we volunteered to like, you know, clean them up and do the upkeep and the maintenance of them. And so if, by the way, if any of you live in a city that has had or has an American Girl lending library with like the dolls and the things, or like an American Girl club at your library, or if you've been part of that, like please let me know in the comments or reach out to me via email, agtakesover@gmail.com, because I would love to like gather a little information before we approach our library. But we were talking about that, like that was Grace's thing that she brought up, and I was like, yes, I would love that. So just feeling very, I'm super tired physically, but mentally I'm like so energized, and like my cup is full. My cup is full. It was so good to see so many people, you know, people who shared their stories about, I'm not at that point yet where I am comfortable taking my dolls out in public, and I admire that and I want to get there, to people who are like, I'm gonna start an AGTube channel, to other people who are like, oh yeah, I have a channel, and I'm like, oh cool, let me follow you, or like, I have an AGIG, and I'm like, tell me, I'll follow you right now. So it's just really good to connect to people and share stories, and like see some of the stuff that we've been meaning to get rid of make other people's days. Like I saw somebody pick up Felicity's purse with the kerchief in it, and they were like, they saw the price on it, and they were like, and they like nudged their friend, and they were like, and I was like, yes, get it, it's here to sell, take it. So yeah, it was lovely. I'm gonna go take a picture of all the Lori doll stuff and lay that out, so I probably put it in there already, but anyway, right now I have to go do that, and I have to go to bed because I have to work tomorrow on a Sunday. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. If you went to the show, please let me know. Hey, this is me. I said hi. This is my account. Even if you never commented before and you're like, I just watched. If you're watching this, say, I said hi to you. I said I never comment. This is my first comment. Because I would just like to kind of connect faces and names, or faces and accounts at least. And yeah, go have fun with your dolls. Go try to find some doll friends that you can hang out with in real life. And if you don't have any, but you could start planning now for a March trip to Saline, Michigan, I'm hoping that we will be able to do an even bigger, you know, more like maybe bigger, longer meetup. So we will see. I'll keep you posted. Take care.